Welcome to Inviting Oneness, a podcast where we explore true personal stories from friends and members of EquaSion. Stories where the illusion of separateness gave way to the deeper truth of our shared humanity. Oneness isn't an idea, it's an experience. And today, we continue listening for it, one story at a time. Our guest today is Aruni Marapane. Aruni was the honorary chair of the 2025 Festival of Faiths. Based in Cincinnati with roots in Sri Lanka, Aruni is a Buddhist chaplain specializing in spiritual care for those in hospice and hospitals. Aruni actually just returned from a 5-month stay in Sri Lanka, where she served as a chaplain and witnessed the power of tolerance and connection across the Asian continent. We're so happy to have her back. At EquaSion, we recently launched a new small group initiative called Faith and Friendship Groups. Throughout the summer, interfaith groups will gather around a range of themes and practices, including having difficult conversations, prayer, belong dinners, faith communities in solidarity with immigrants, and sacred connections, our Religious 101 group that visits different places of worship across the Greater Cincinnati region. Each gathering begins with a poem and a connecting question. The poem you'll hear today was written by Aruni, and it opened our Faith and Friendship groups last week. After sharing the poem, Aruni responds to this connecting question. What is one spiritual or religious routine you look forward to every day, week, or month? As you listen, we invite you to reflect on that question for yourself. Here's Aruni. Her poem is called A Prayer of Silent Stillness.
In this moment, we gently arrive, breathing in, breathing out, letting the world soften. In the shared wisdom of all sacred paths, we enter the quiet that is always here. In this silence, nothing is missing. In this stillness, nothing needs to be fixed. Here, beneath words and worries, we remember who we really are. May this silence and stillness open our hearts. May this stillness steady our minds. May this sacred pause return us to compassion without boundaries. As taught in the paths of awakening, may loving kindness arise within us, not as effort, but as our natural radiance. In this silence, may we become love. In this stillness, may we become light, and these quiet centers, may that light and love extend outward to our families, to our communities, to those who suffer, to those who struggle, and to all sentient beings in this existence.
Aruni, thanks so much for writing this prayer for us. We've actually been using this in the context of something called Faith and Friendship Groups, which is an initiative that EquaSion is doing to bring together small groups of people around different topics. And each group begins with a prayer or a poem, and then a connecting question, a question that everybody will answer within the context of the small groups. And so I wanted to ask you the connecting question that corresponds with a prayer that you've written for us. Okay? So here it is. The question is, what is one spiritual or religious routine you look forward to every day, week, or month? What is one spiritual or religious routine you look forward to every day, week, or month?
So I wrote this poem as an answer to that question. So everything is in this poem. So every single day, I look forward to have my own space in that stillness and in that silence. Once I'm in that silence and stillness, my mind's become clear, and it seems like I'm rejuvenated to go back to life. In that stillness and silence, it's so peaceful. My senses have a great rest, because I noticed as I was meditating deeper and deeper, as they go by, days or weeks or months, our senses are overstimulated with the information we should have and mostly we should not have. We are bombarded with all kinds of information. And how we get this information is through our senses. How is our brain getting this information? Through our senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, and then of course mind has so much accumulation of information. And then I notice our senses, it gets so overstimulated and it's need a break. Then in this stillness, in this quiet time, everything goes into stillness. Everything goes into almost to the beginning. And another word I can tell you is it's not going to be completely equal, but it's kind of unconditioning, unpeeling, giving rest to our molecules, our mundane self and our spiritual self, whatever you call it, we get a great rest. I mean, I'm more comfortable, very peaceful. Sometimes I don't want to come back, but you have to come back to human life. Then I come back and I have a very good outlook, rest, and I'm more energetic. And I go on with whatever's given to me at that moment, and I try to attend to my best of my ability. I'm so attuned to these energetic fluctuations. Then I realize after some time, like if I'm in a big crowd, or in the afternoon, or work a lot outside, or in my hospice work, I notice it's time for me to sit and quiet. It could be 2 minutes, it could be 5 minutes, sometimes it could be hours, but I need that stillness.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Aruni. We've actually already used the poem and the connecting question in our small groups. And I noticed as I was reading it for the small group that I was facilitating, that the poem itself invited me into a place of stillness and rest. That it was very difficult to not enter into a meditative space just by reading your poem. So thanks for agreeing to write that for us. Thanks for joining us on Inviting Oneness, where we share real stories of connection that dissolve the illusion of separation and reveal our common humanity. To learn more about the festival, our work at EquaSion, or to share your own story of oneness, visit us at EquaSion.org. Until next time, may we keep inviting oneness within ourselves and with one another.